everyone, how you doing? It's Dr. Helene here. Now I'm actually, for the first time, I'm actually streaming live on Instagram as well. So hopefully it's all going to be, so excuse me if I keep looking, I've got the different cameras up, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I wanted to do a live really about sort of festive time for your dog, because a lot of the questions I'm getting asked about is certainly traveling with the pets, how to help them because they're not used to extended journeys, or how to cope with them with lots of people in the house, or not so many people in the house, but just a different just doing something different, because obviously there are lots of lockdown puppies and things like that. But this applies really to all animals, and obviously we're coming up to fireworks night as well. So first of all, about traveling. Now, I've got a separate video about traveling safely. Okay, so I will put the link if you're watching on Instagram. If you go to the link in my bio, it is listed there. But otherwise, for anyone, it's www.thehealthful.com/WPW links. But otherwise, you can see it on it's easy to access on my YouTube channel, and it's traveling safely with dogs, and it just explains about using crates or harnesses, about having an evacuation plan and things like that. So I'm not going to go into it now about that, because it's a subject of a much sort of more in-depth video really, but do give it do give it a watch. Now, a couple of other things that people have issues with traveling with pets is because they don't like it. So it can be sort of anxiety, or also it can be travel sickness as well. So let's just talk about calming. And obviously you can have this interplay between both anxiety related travel and also nausea as well. And sometimes it can be difficult to work out what is actually going on. So certainly for calming, the oils that I really like and the blends are Balance Blends, Serenity and Vetiver. And you can actually use all those oils independently or together, and it makes a really nice little blend. And it again, offer the oils to your pets, to your dogs with the lid on, see what they select, and then you can work that way. Now, often they won't select. I know if I offer an oil to my dog Rowan before we get in the vehicle, or when we're in the vehicle, he won't take anything because the vehicle's not moving. He's quite happy, and so I can't do it. So I have to make a best guess with him, and so he'll always have his balance on, because I know that he's going to need some balance, whereas Maz is slightly different. Now, one thing that it's important to do with oils as well, so they'll get the therapeutic benefits just by inhaling them, but actually if you start using the oils in the home when they're already calm, then you're going to get this odor memory. You're going to get this association with something calm happening. So for Maz, who really doesn't like traveling, I don't know why he doesn't like my van. Rowan doesn't like the van. They're fine in my Land Rover. I put oils on his bed at night, and I put a little, I have a blend with Balance, Serenity and Vetiver in. So you can do like 2 drops of each in 10 mils of fractionated coconut oil. Obviously, you want to double the fractionated coconut oil if you've got a dog under 10 kilograms. But I use that blend. It's quite a hardcore one for him, and I put it on his bed at night. And so he gets that association with it, with sleeping. And so when he has it in the van, he's already got that memory. Oh, actually, when I have that, I'm chilled and I'm asleep. Okay, so it works in those both ways. Also really useful to have a diffuser as well. This is the Pilot diffuser. Again, I've done another video about this, but it's one that's cordless. It charges up. It runs for about, do you know what? I can't remember. I think it's about 6 or 8 hours on an intermittent setting, which is what you want. So that's when it pulses for 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. It's absolutely brilliant. So I have this in my car. In my van. I actually have 2. So when we went on a ferry, we went to the Isle of Mull. I was a bit worried about them, so I actually had 2 diffusers because I wanted to make sure they were so calm. And I only put a couple of drops of oil in. That's enough in an enclosed area, but it's really useful. And I love this as well when I'm camping. I have my oils in at night, or if you've got, want to protect yourself from midges, you got your oils in. So I will put that in as well to just support them. Now, if nausea is the problem, and it may be that you've got to do a bit of trial and error, or maybe you just see your dog being sick. As someone who suffers with travel sickness, I mean, I'm not kidding. If I get an Uber to work, my work's about 3 miles away from where I live. If I ever get an Uber, because I usually cycle, but if the weather's bad, like snow, bad, not like rain, I can literally feel sick. So I will always take some Zengest. I actually take them in soft gels, but even just having some just in your mouth, pop a drop, or just adding it with some water. it's amazing. So it really, really supports me for my travel sickness, because I get it really, really bad. So I am always really supportive of anyone, human or pet, who suffers. And it is really, really horrible. So I wasn't sure with Maz whether or not it was travel sickness with him or anxiety. And I've tried a lot of things. It's anxiety, because I did a lot of self-selection, and he was choosing oils that were for calming rather than nausea. But this is a great one. So Zengest, they can actually have it in their food before they travel. So they could have 1 drop if they're over 10 kilograms. If they're under, use the toothpick method. So that's where you will pop a toothpick in the orifice there and just swirl it around in the food. Or you can mix it in fractionated coconut oil in the same dilution that you'd use that other oil, that other blend with, and just apply it to their tummy. You can also pop a couple of drops in your diffuser along with some balance. That will be really nice just to soothe them, and it can be really beneficial for sorting out any nausea. Another great tip actually with balance is just to pop a couple of drops on your fingers and just pop a drop on their neck and at the base of their tail. That's super nice for just keeping them sort of calm and balanced and running it down the spine. But Zengest is a really, really good oil. And make sure they're also really hydrated, because if they are anxious, I know with Rowan, he will pant an awful lot. So I always make sure all my dogs are hydrated before we get in. So when they have their breakfast, which is about 2 hours before we travel, they will have about a cup of, I use oat milk. So oat milk in some water, and give that to them, which they love. But if they don't want oat milk, you can bait it with things like sardine. It's just to basically encourage them to drink. And then every 30 minutes, I'd give them 5 laps of water. So they're maintaining their hydration. Now with Rowan, because he pants so much, I actually have one of those non-spill bowls in the where he sits, so that he can actually take a drink if he wants to as well, which really, really helps. Okay, so that's the traveling. So whether or not you're going somewhere or you're having people to you, let's just talk about the dogs. It's really important that they have a calm space, because it can be so overwhelming, especially if there's people that they perhaps aren't familiar with, or young children. A calm space where no one's going to go to, that they are not going to be disturbed. Don't put it in a corner of the room where a kid might run up to and go, oh, I want to play the doggy. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But a nice calm space. It might be upstairs, just somewhere where they can just go and be away and calm. Be careful with Christmas food, because there's so much that is toxic for dogs. And even if it's not toxic, it can be too much for them. And no one wants to wake up on Boxing Day morning with a floor full of diarrhea, do they? But things like, Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, it's raisins. No, we don't really know why raisins can be toxic to some dogs, and it won't be all of them. But, we know that they can be. So it's best just to keep them away. Don't forget, you've got your turkey if you're not vegan like me. Cooked bones, not good for your dogs. You don't want to be going to the emergency vets and having some surgery. So just keep out of reach. Also, be really careful about decorations as well that's on the tree, because dogs love to get things. Now, weirdly, I have some little little ornaments that are wood. Now, my blind dog, I don't know how she does it, because she's like a ninja, but she can sniff out anything like that. And I put one where I didn't even think she'd know it was there. She just zoomed in on it, So I was like, okay, let me get that out of your mouth. So you've just got to be really mindful about these things, because they can easily take stuff. Give them some nice walks. Christmas is a great time to go for walks for your pet, but just be mindful if you're going back and they've had this really energizing walk, that they can still be quite hyper. So taking them for an extended lead walk where they have a bit of a sniffari, and so they're having a lot of sniffing, can be really beneficial to just let them chill out a little bit more and be a bit sort of lowered. Okay. Also utilize things like snuffle mats, lick mats, Kongs. I've got little Christmas dinner prepped for my dogs. They can have it in their Kong and some on their lick mat and things, just to make it last a little bit longer, and just to give them some extra fun. And you can also utilize some treats, bones. I mean, so a nice good chunky marrow bone, or some I like veg-based chews as well. So lots of different like whimsies that I like. My dogs all like those, or the dried fish skins and things like that. So there's lots of different things they can have. But obviously, if there's children around, just make sure they're away. So if you're going to a house where maybe you've got children, or you're going to a house where there's going to be children, this is so important. Now, as an A&E doctor, I've done a lot of peds. I've also studied dog bites in children for quite a few years. I've collated data on it and everything. The vast majority of dog bites in children are not done by an aggressive dog. Okay, it's done by a family pet, and it's been during things like play or disturbing a sleeping dog, tripping over a sleeping dog, or taking some food away, you know, the dog going to nick some food from the child, because that's what dogs do. Okay, so it is really important, and don't get into that, oh no, my dog's so good with children, you know, they won't do anything, because you don't know. Okay, you just don't know. I'm really lucky because my dogs, my blind dog's a bit scared of children, which is fine, but the rest of my dogs are really super with children. But I never ever have them unsupervised with children. I'm like that helicopter, because it's really important. And when I only had 2 dogs, I had 2 dogs called Treacle and Toffee, and they were brilliant with children as well. And I remember my niece was maybe about 2, and I went down, I said to my brother, because they were coming in the house, and I said, please just do not let Sophia have any food around the dogs, okay? And if you are going to give her food, please tell me, and I will take the dogs out for a walk. And they didn't, they just completely ignored me, and nothing happened. But you know, you've got a young child walking around with some food. It's very, very tempting for a dog. But because I was super vigilant, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to put these somewhere away because it's really easy. A dog's teeth are really sharp, and they can just go and grab something, and it can be a really devastating injury. And, you know, I've seen injuries from play where a child's been playing with a toy. The dog's thinking, oh, yeah, play, brilliant, we can play tuggy. And they've caused a really bad injury on the child, and nobody wants that. And it isn't because of aggression. It's literally the dog's just been playing. You know, I've been nipped by my dogs when I've been playing, and it's not because they're being aggressive. It's just my hands just got in the way, or they've nipped me because they've been taking a treat. You know, it can happen. And you know, my skin's a lot tougher than a child's. So it's really important to just be really mindful about that. And also, those calm spaces that you create, it must be a child-free zone, because again, children get hurt because they've disturbed a dog that's trying to sleep. Dogs need a lot more sleep, and obviously the older a dog is, the more sleep. And also, if they're a dog that maybe has got arthritis or something else, then they may be in pain, and you know that it's going to affect them if they have a child fall on them, or maybe touch them in a place that they don't like, you know, maybe they don't want their pelvic, you know, their back end touched or things like that. And also, children don't understand really what a dog's doing, and a lot of children, when I think it was Dogs Trust did a survey, do check out the Be Dog Smart, by the way, but a dog smiling can be perceived by children as a dog growling can be perceived by children as a dog smiling. So, you know, when you look at it that way, that can be super, you know, really dangerous, because they're going to think, oh, the dog's smiling at me, I'm going to go and give the dog a hug. No, you know, again, so just be really, really mindful of that. It's so important. But apart from all that, have a wonderful Christmas. And if you'd like any tips about the human side of things, do check out my blog, which is on www.thehealthfuldoctor.com/blog. But otherwise, do pop to my my Who Paws Wins blog links. There's some extra things on calming canines. You can download a free ebook, and obviously we're coming up to New Year as well, so that calming blend with the balance, the Serenity and Vetiver can be really useful for fireworks night. I've actually got a webinar particularly about fireworks night and different things that you can utilize to have a good fireworks night, so do check that out. That's in my store. If you want any advice that's personal for your dogs, do get in touch. Whether you need oils or you've already got them and you just want to, you know, have a general overview, a consultation, just get in touch and I can get you sorted. But otherwise, I hope this has helped. Do check out my blog. This is actually going to be appearing in a blog in a lot more detail as well. So if you've missed anything, you can catch up there. But otherwise, shout with any questions. Stay safe, stay well, and have a very Merry Christmas.